Okay, so the last thing we're going to do with this base is mirror it to the other side. So I'm just going to turn off the slider just while we do the mirror. Flip around. Create. Mirror. That's the object or the body that we're going to mirror. The mirror plane is going to be either this surface here or this one here. It's the same thing. And join. So it's going to mirror the design. There's two identical halves. Cool. And turn that slider back on. Now we're going to create our sides. Now they're going to be laser cut acrylic. And there's going to be obviously one on each side of this base. So the base is going to spread them apart at the bottom. There'll be obviously bolts through these two holes. Up the top, we're going to use a feature called keying in the design. So we're going to use acrylic for the top and the front, the angled part, and we're going to key them into the design so it spreads the acrylic at the top of the design. So we'll start with a sketch on the side. Doesn't matter which one, I'm doing it on the right hand side. And to start with, we will need to project in a few features. P key, we're just going to select that bottom face, and we'll also select these two holes. That's the only references we'll need, so we'll project those in. Now, just going to select this one and make it a construction line, and this one over here. Now remember, we made them at 5.1 millimeters. That was so that to allow for any shrinkage in the 3D print. In the laser cut, we need these to be 5 mil exactly. So 5. You virtually won't notice any difference, but it's important that they are construction lines, the original ones. So you don't have to select that space. So just 5 mil on those two circles. Now, with the design of the frame, I guess the base sticks out the back, this little curved section here. So I'm going to put another circle straight on this one, and it's going to touch the base. So 10 millimeters, like that. And from that point there, so in line with the center, out to the edge, from this point straight up, it's going to go just above the height of the we'll put a dimension on that now. So from the bottom purple line to the very top point, it's going to be 79 millimeters. Another line from the very top of that across, it's going to be 60. If we move to the front now, so directly in line with the bottom edge of that, so where that dot is at the purple on the purple line, that is going to come forwards 20 millimeters. And then upwards from there, 40. And we're just going to join the dots between those two. Right. So as I said, we're going to key in the top and the front plates. So we're going to offset this line at the top. So if I hit offset, by default we will probably have chain selection on. And when you have chain selection, it chooses all the sort of associated lines. So we'll choose all the blue ones here. So I'm going to deselect that one because we only need to offset these two top faces. We'll offset them down 3 mil. So there's going to be a bit of a lip here, and then we'll offset again. We'll do exactly the same ones, those two edges, and then they're going to come down 6 mil. Because we have a 3 mil thick acrylic, which will sit just in this space here. Now we're going to put in some lines, so it will be one about here, and then another one here. We'll assign some dimensions now. So dimension from the edge, back edge, to that line is going to be 15. From this one to this one is going to be 28.9. 29 would have been a nice number, but slightly too short. And then between those two, 15. So it is, if you keep zooming in, it's very close to being on the end of that line, not exactly. And we'll do the same along this side as well. So pop in some of these lines. When you draw these in, you want to make sure you're getting that perpendicular constraint popping up. So we'll go here. It's going to be 2. If you miss one, you can always add another one later when you put new dimensions in. So D for dimension. These are all going to be similar. So 15 from here to here is going to be 29. Here to here is going to be 15. So, because these are still a little bit fluid, we'll bring them as close as we can up the top here. So we might just set a dimension from this shoulder to this shoulder and make this 1 mil. Okay. Some of the other features we'll need in this design will be a hole which goes right here. So obviously that's going to be the main pivot point for the design. So because that's on the origin, we can just put a 5mm hole just there. And we also will need a bit of a slot at the front. Now, so the slot at the front is going to be, I'm going to put a fillet on this front edge here, and it will be 12mm. And the center point of that fillet we're going to use as the end of the slot. So I'm going to create a circle there of 5mm. A line. So directly from the top edge of that circle straight to the end, we'll just put a horizontal vertical constraint on that one. Doesn't look that. And maybe a tangent constraint on those two. And the only other one I'm going to put in is one which runs from the bottom edge of this circle to the edge here. And the dimension for that one will be 16 degrees. And we'll put a tangent constraint on that one too. So this part here will be sort of notched out of the design. You could do a trim and get rid of this edge. I'm just going to leave it there for the moment. All right, we are good to finish up on this sketch. A bit of a 3/4 view, and we can extrude. So we can extrude these features. I'm going to make sure that I get this end one. So all the making a bit of a mess of this. All the ones which are 29mm. Deselect. Make sure we'll get these ones down here. We need that notch. So it should look a bit like this. Now, if you do miss something, you can always come back and reselect, but this is going to be 3mm and it's going to be a new body. Okay, so from here, we'll add a couple of fillets. So fillet, this end face, and this end edge. So the two edges, they're going to be a 3mm fillet. And have a bigger one here of 10mm. And just to tidy up this front edge here, fill it. Put a 2mm fill on there. Okay. Of course, you can paint this one up. Now, I've done it with some clear acrylic in my example. You can do it with whatever colour you like. The clear I kind of like just because it lets you sort of see the mechanism on the inside, but it's up to you what colour you want to make it. It's probably worthwhile doing it something translucent to start with. I'll do it in orange in this example. Might be worthwhile doing it in something transparent to start with, just so you can sort of see the mechanism working once we start adding sort of those motion features to the design. You can always change it up again afterwards. So obviously we'll need one on the other side, so we'll mirror this in a minute, and then we'll add the sort of the keyed plates at the top.